Imagine having a pristine, state-of-the-art Formula One engine dropped right into the middle of your driveway.
Okay, that sounds pretty good.
Right. I mean, it is a masterpiece of engineering. It has unparalleled horsepower. But then you look around and realize you don't have a chassis.
Yeah, and you definitely don't have tires.
Exactly. No tires, and you have absolutely no idea how to connect the high-pressure fuel line to actually make it run, so it just sits there.
Which is incredibly frustrating.
It really is. And that is exactly how Fortune 500 executives are feeling about artificial intelligence right now. The engine is brilliant, but it's sitting idle.
Well, it is the defining bottleneck of the current technology cycle.
Yeah.
If we frame this around, one massive business question, it's this. Why is having the smartest, most advanced AI model on the market suddenly no longer enough to actually win over big corporate clients?
Which is wild to think about.
Right, but we are seeing this fundamental realization that raw intelligence just doesn't equal business utility.
Which means if you are tracking AI trends for your own career or analyzing how business English is shifting in corporate boardrooms, you are watching an entire industry pivot in real time.
A massive pivot.
Yeah, and today's deep dive is about that exact shift. We are unpacking OpenAI's massive May 2026 strategic shift because they recognize that enterprise buyers don't just want access to a model anymore.
Right, they need the mechanics.
Exactly. They need the mechanics, the factory setup, and a guaranteed supply of premium fuel, to use our F1 analogy. So let's talk about what they actually did.
Yeah, let's put the facts on the table. In early May 2026, OpenAI stopped acting solely like, an elite research lab that sells API access to a neural network.
Right.
They shifted aggressively toward becoming a full-scale enterprise deployment partner.
Yeah.
And they executed this transition through two massive initiatives launched side by side.
The first being a new entity formerly called the Deployment Company.
Exactly. And the second is a completely new enterprise infrastructure offering called Guaranteed Capacity.
Okay, so let's start with that first one, the Deployment Company, because the scale of it is just staggering.
It really is.
According to Reuters, on May 11th, 2026, OpenAI officially launched this unit with more than $4 billion in initial investment.
Wow.
$4 billion. I mean, they also announced the acquisition of an AI consulting firm called Tomorrow.
Right, to jumpstart that process.
Exactly. And the stated goal is to help organizations build AI systems they can actually rely on every single day, rather than just, playing around with chatbots.
Yeah, moving past the toy phase.
Right. But I have to push back here for a second. From a pure business strategy perspective, OpenAI is a software company.
True.
And software is supposed to have, 90% profit margins because it scales infinitely with very low overhead.
Right, you build it once and sell it a million times.
Exactly. So why on earth would they spend $4 billion to become an IT consulting firm? I mean, that is incredibly labor-intensive.
It is, and you're touching on the exact tension that makes this move so fascinating. It completely defies traditional Silicon Valley software logic.
Right.
Usually, a tech company builds the product and lets third-party consultants handle the messy reality of actually installing it.
Like letting someone else get their hands dirty.
Exactly. But OpenAI realized that the gap between a shiny AI demo and a functional corporate tool is currently too wide for traditional IT departments to cross alone.
The technology is just too new.
Too new, and the stakes are too high.
So what does that messy reality actually look like? Are we talking about just rewriting some code?
Oh no, we are talking about deep, painful structural overhauls. Think about a global bank.
Okay.
They might have a core database built on software from 20 years ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You cannot just plug a cutting-edge large language model into a 20-year-old mainframe and expect it to magically summarize financial records.
Without hallucinating, or worse, breaking data privacy laws.
Exactly. Connecting the new AI to those old legacy databases requires what the industry calls systems integration.
Systems integration. Got it.
Right. It demands deep technical alignment, rigorous security testing, and custom middleware. It's not a plug-and-play situation.
Which perfectly explains the embedded engineers. Reuters reported that OpenAI is physically embedding frontier AI deployment engineers right into these corporate organizations.
Yeah, physical presence.
So rather than just giving a client a login and, a customer service number, OpenAI is sending their own top-tier mechanics to sit inside the client's office.
And physically wire the F1 engine into the car, exactly.
Right.
That level of hands-on involvement is what we call embedded engineering support.
Embedded engineering support.
Right. And having the creators of the technology sitting next to a company's internal IT team completely changes the dynamic.
I can imagine.
You are no longer just a vendor selling a software license. You are a deployment partner actively sharing the risk and the responsibility of the launch.
Deployment partner. Yeah, that sounds way more involved.
It is. And the broader market absolutely agrees with this necessity. Just one day after OpenAI launched this unit, on May 12, 2026, Capgemini announced they were investing directly in the OpenAI deployment
I
company.
mean, Capgemini, they are one of the largest traditional IT consulting firms in the world.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that is a massive signal. Capgemini investing in OpenAI's deployment unit bridges the old world of traditional enterprise IT and the bleeding edge of AI research.
It really does.
They are essentially betting that human capital, the consultants and engineers, is just as valuable as the AI models themselves right now.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Capgemini specifically framed their investment as an opportunity to help clients embed frontier AI into their core operations, workflows, and business processes.
Okay.
They explicitly noted that organizations are desperate to move away from mere experimentation. They want scaled implementation.
Right. They want to actually use
They
it.
want speed, reliability, and measurable impact. But you cannot achieve scaled implementation without the human plumbers connecting the pipes.
Okay. So if the deployment company and these embedded engineers represent the plumbers laying down the pipes, let's pivot to the second half of this massive May 2026 shift. Let's talk about the water supply.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Because if you successfully wire an AI into your global logistics system, what happens when 10,000 employees all try to query the system at 9:00 a.m. on a Monday?
Right, the system gets stressed.
Exactly. How do you ensure the entire system doesn't just crash?
Well, that anxiety is exactly what is keeping chief information officers awake at night.
I bet.
Traditional cloud software, like, loading a web page or a CRM dashboard, is relatively light on server resources.
Right.
But AI inference, the actual process of generating tokens and answers dynamically, requires massive amounts of specialized compute power.
It's heavy.
It's very heavy. If a provider's servers get overloaded, the AI slows down, or worse, times out completely.
Which brings us to guaranteed capacity. OpenAI introduced this new offering to give enterprise customers absolute certainty of access to compute power. According to the reporting, customers can now secure this compute access by signing 1-year, 2-year, or even 3-year commitments.
Right.
But I have to play devil's advocate here again.
Go for it.
3 years in the AI industry is an eternity.
It really is.
We see new, smarter models dropping every few weeks. Why would a Fortune 500 company lock themselves into a 3-year contract? It sounds like renting an apartment for a full year just to guarantee a place to sleep, instead of just booking a hotel room whenever you need one. Why not stay flexible?
The hotel analogy is actually perfect for explaining this, but you have to look at it from the perspective of enterprise risk management.
Okay, how so?
If that hotel is fully booked on the one night you desperately need to sleep before a massive presentation, it doesn't matter how luxurious the beds are.
Right, you're sleeping in your car.
Exactly. You are out on the street. In the corporate world, if your AI system is handling vital customer service routing for a major airline, and a summer storm hits, causing a massive spike in user traffic,
Oh, wow, yeah.
you cannot afford for your AI to give a server overloaded error.
Ah, I see the distinction. So the risk of the system going offline is vastly more expensive than the opportunity cost of maybe missing out on a slightly smarter model from a competitor next month.
Radically more expensive. When AI runs a mission-critical workflow,
A mission-critical workflow.
right, meaning a process where if the technology fails, the business essentially stops operating. Uptime becomes your single most important metric.
Wow, okay.
If your logistics routing AI goes down,
Mhm.
supply chain trucks literally sit idle in the lot. That requires absolute operational resilience.
Operational resilience. That makes sense.
Yeah, and operational resilience means the system can absorb traffic shocks, handle unpredictable user inputs, and recover instantly without breaking a sweat.
So by signing an annual
An
commitment,
annual commitment, right.
a company is essentially buying an insurance policy. They are locking in guaranteed capacity on OpenAI's servers.
Guaranteed capacity,
That
exactly.
They don't have to worry about the public ChatGPT servers getting crowded because they have their own dedicated lane on the highway.
And OpenAI structured the financial incentives to reward that long-term mindset, offering increasing discounts based on the length of the commitment.
Oh, smart.
Very.
Oh.
Furthermore, the companies aren't just locked into one single version of an AI model for 3 years.
Okay, that was my big worry.
Right. OpenAI allows them to draw down this capacity across their entire product portfolio.
Drawdown, so using it gradually.
Exactly. To draw down simply means to gradually use up a reserved pool of resources over time. So if a new, better model comes out in year 2 of their contract, they can just allocate their guaranteed compute power to run that new model instead.
Oh, that is a brilliant way to future-proof a rigid contract.
It really is.
It provides predictable compute planning for the enterprise while locking in long-term revenue for OpenAI. I mean, TechRadar summarized this shift perfectly when they noted that infrastructure certainty is becoming an enterprise product in its own right.
Yes.
The product isn't just the raw intelligence anymore. The product is the absolute certainty that the intelligence will be available and secure at scale every single day.
Which completely redefines the competitive moat for AI companies.
How do you mean?
Well, we spent years assuming the winner would be whoever had the highest IQ model. But if you have a model with an IQ of a 150 that crashes twice a week,
Right.
and a model with an IQ of 130 that never goes offline and comes with a team of embedded engineers to help you use it, the enterprise is going to buy the 130 IQ model every single time.
Every single time. That is such a good point. Because you are tracking these trends to stay sharp in your own career, and you are likely navigating these exact transitions in your industry right now, I want to spend a moment focusing on the specific language being used to negotiate these multi-billion-dollar deals.
It's important.
The vocabulary of AI has fundamentally shifted away from the language of a research lab and has become the language of enterprise risk management. We've been using these terms throughout the deep dive today, but let's crystallize exactly what they mean when a CIO uses them in a boardroom.
The shift in language is incredibly revealing, honestly. When executives talk about hiring a deployment partner, their ultimate goal is achieving a successful enterprise rollout.
Enterprise rollout.
Right. That's the critical moment when a tool graduates from a small, isolated beta test group of maybe 10 people to being deployed across 10,000 employees globally.
But you cannot approve an enterprise rollout if the system isn't production ready.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I hear that term constantly now, production ready.
Yeah.
It isn't just about the AI giving accurate answers. It means the system has all the necessary guardrails.
Right.
It means it complies with European data privacy laws, for instance.
Yeah.
It means it won't accidentally leak your company's financial data to a random employee.
Exactly. A cool prototype is utterly useless to a Fortune 500 company if it isn't production ready.
And that ties directly into why they need embedded engineering support to handle the systems integration.
Yes, because corporate tech stacks are famously fragile webs of legacy software. When a CIO says they want to scale confidently, they are expressing a deep psychological need. They want to increase the usage of the AI across the company without triggering catastrophic system failures.
Right.
They can only scale confidently if they know they have guaranteed capacity waiting for them on the server side.
And all of this intense preparation, I mean, the $4 billion OpenAI is spending, the Capgemini investments, the 3-year annual commitments, all of it serves one ultimate financial metric.
Yes.
Time to value.
Time to value. That is the magic phrase.
It really is. Time to value is the gap between a company paying a massive invoice for new technology and actually seeing a measurable return on that investment.
Right. If you just hand a company an API key, their time to value might be 2 years while they fumble around trying to integrate it.
Yeah, trying to figure it out themselves.
Exactly. But if you send a team of elite deployment engineers into their office to build it for them, you shrink that time to value down to a few months.
Wow.
And that speed is what justifies these massive contracts.
It is complete evolution of the industry. Let's zoom back out and synthesize everything we've uncovered today. We've traced how the gap between building an engine and building a functioning factory is finally being bridged. Let's distill this into 3 crisp takeaways for you to bring into your next strategy meeting.
Sounds good.
Takeaway number 1. Enterprise AI has officially moved out of the experimentation phase. The era of companies being impressed by a smart chatbot is over.
Long over.
Corporations are now demanding scaled implementation, meaning real integrated systems that actually do the heavy lifting of daily business.
Takeaway number 2. Deployment quality is the new competitive battleground. OpenAI's massive $4 billion investment in the deployment company, their acquisition of Tomorrow, and their pivot toward embedded engineering support proves that the mechanics who install the technology are now just as critical as the architects who designed it.
And takeaway number 3. Infrastructure certainty is now a standalone product.
Yes.
By offering guaranteed capacity through 1 to 3 year annual commitments, OpenAI is directly addressing the massive anxiety enterprise buyers have regarding compute shortages.
Because in the corporate world, operational resilience and uptime are now just as valuable as model intelligence.
Exactly. Now, those takeaways clearly define where the market is today. But this shift raises a provocative question for you to consider about the future.
Oh, absolutely. If OpenAI continues down this path,
Yeah?
acquiring traditional consulting firms, embedding thousands of their own engineers into legacy corporations to manage bespoke systems integration, do they risk becoming bogged down?
That's a great question.
All right. Silicon Valley thrives on agility. Do they risk mutating into a slow-moving traditional IT dinosaur just to satisfy corporate clients? Or is becoming the world's AI IT department simply the only realistic way to force this revolutionary technology into the veins of the global economy?
That is the ultimate tension right there. Will they lose their research edge because they are too busy fixing a bank's routing software?
Exactly.
Or are they the only ones with the capital and the expertise to actually make AI useful in the real world? Well, we want to hear your take on this. What do you think enterprise buyers genuinely need right now from AI vendors?
Yeah, are they desperate for smarter, more capable models with higher reasoning skills?
Or do they just need better, more reliable deployment support for the models we already have? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know what you are seeing in your own industry.
We'd love to read them.
Until next time, keep tracking those shifts and keep diving deep.